everyone. Thank you so much for coming to join me for our 60th anniversary celebration of the sound of music. I just adore a good party, don't you? Now, I know why you've come today. Sure, you've come to reminisce about the sound of music. You want to enjoy the popular, cheery songs, imagine cute baby goats frolicking in the Alps, learn about trivia from the world-famous movie that was released 60 years ago. But I know the real reason. You want to see what's happened to me. Do you remember me in the movie? Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't. Okay, good for you. I was the glamorous, sophisticated, high society socialite engaged to marry the Captain Von Trapp in the beginning of the movie. Remember? Yeah. Yes. Then, of course, he dumped me for Maria, a house servant, the ill-mannered reject from the nunnery, an orphan with no education and no reading. But you've come because you want to see what's happened to me. You want to see how I've aged. Pretty well, don't you think? So even though I'm a long way from going on from 16 to going on 17, I know how the common people are. There's nothing they like more than to watch someone on top take a fall. In a way, you came to take pleasure in my disgrace, my humiliation. I've been holding all this in for 60 years, and I've got a lot to say. First, I'd like to dispel a myth or two about what critics said about me after the movie came out. The first was that I didn't like children. Now, why would I do that? I didn't dislike children. Everyone has to start somewhere. Sure, I was uncomfortable around children. I didn't have any children, and I had little experience around them. I'd never changed a diaper or done any of those mothering things. So yes, I was uncomfortable around the captain's children. You can see that. They just lost their saintly mother to scarlet fever. And there weren't just one or two, but 7 of them. Looking up at me with their scared, innocent eyes, how could I ever fill that role as their stepmother? Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about that terrible remark of mine about wanting to send them off to boarding schools? Boarding schools were not all dungeons. Some of them were quite fine and prestigious. I went to boarding and finishing schools and got educated in all things scholarly, including music. Their father and I wouldn't have sent them to anything but the finest boarding schools. We had plenty of money to do so. I guess I just wanted to ease into the role of being their stepmother slowly and not force myself on them. But sure, boarding school would have given Georg and me the opportunity to continue going on our fabulous cruises around the world and for me to continue hosting my famous gay parties. But I did not hate those sweet children. Remember the tender moment between Greta, the littlest, and me, when she hands me the bouquet of the Edelweiss flowers? See, there was hope. Before we go any further, can anyone tell us what Edelweiss is?
Flower. It's a flower.
Yes, good, it's a flower. Anything more about the Edelweiss?
Is it the national flower?
Yes, it is the national, good for you, flower of Austria. Yes, it's a small, as the song goes, small and white, clear and bright. And it's believed to only grow in the most remote, rugged terrain of Austria. Valiant gentlemen callers would present their sweethearts with Edelweiss as a testament to their bravery and devotion. Fans of the Sound of Music know well that the song Edelweiss was written for the movie, and that little flower is symbolic of Austria's strength and unique identity. Now, Let's find out who's here. How many of you have seen the movie? Raise your hands, The Sound of Music. Okay, almost all of you. How many of you have seen it more than once? These are the same hands I saw before. Has anyone seen it more than 10 times? Oh, good. Okay. Who thinks they've seen it the most times? How many times have you seen it, Greg, darling?
I insisted on showing it every time my daughter had her young childhood friends over. I sat them down and made them watch Sound of Music every time.
Oh, I love this. What a fine father. Good. I know a lot of families have a tradition of watching it on Christmas Eve, so they might be able to rival you. But yes, it is a movie we want to see over and over again, isn't it? Thank you. Let's see what else we want to ask today. Who can name all the major characters? Who do we have? Well, Maria, of course, who comes in with her beat-up guitar case and the hair she probably cut herself and charms everyone, and, well, we all know how that turns out. What about, well, the captain, certainly. Here's the actor Christopher Plummer, who plays the captain. Who else is in The Sound of Music? Who sang Climb Every Mountain? The Mother Superior, yes, or as they call her, the Mother Abbess. Yes, that's right. Can anyone really good at this trivia name all the children and maybe their ages? Who is the eldest child? Liesel, yes, you remember her from the famous song, 16 going on 17. Well, I've written all the characters down here because I didn't remember them at the time, nor do I now either. Let's see. Next in line was Friedrich, who was 14, Louisa, 13, Kurt, 11, Brigitta, 10, Marta, 7, and the littlest muffin was Gretel. Now, who remembers the name of the man who was my sidekick? Max. Who promoted all the concerts and was always sort of sponging off the wealthy. Does anyone remember his name? I'll tell you. His name was Max Detweiler. Yes. And for the bonus round, who remembers the name of Liesel's boyfriend? Carl? Rolf. Somebody said Rolf. Yes, it was Rolf. Woo, Teresa. Bonus points for you, my dear. All right. What are your favorite songs from The Sound of Music?
Favorite things.
These are a few of my favorite things. And Do Re Mi, yes.
16 going on 17.
16 going on 17, yes. The teenage romance blooming in front of our very eyes in the rain, yes.
So long.
The Hills Are Alive, yes, that starts the movie out. Edelweiss.
So long, farewell.
Lonely Goatherd.
So Long Farewell, yes, at the end. And The Lonely Goatherd. You know, the little puppet show that Mary and the children just whip out of nowhere to charm everyone. Do you all remember Something Good? Somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. Oh, good for all of you. That was lovely. Who here has seen a stage version of The Sound of Music? Yes? Where did you see it?
Santa Maria. PCPA, Santa Maria, my son directed it.
Oh, you had a son who directed A Sound of Music. How magnificent. What a talented man. That's a big undertaking. All the children and all the songs and the costumes and everything. Oh, how delightful. Yell out, someone else. Where did you see it?
The Rivera's Cultural Center.
Yes, the Cultural Center in Ajijic did it in Spanish.
Yes.
Not too long ago. I'm hoping they'll bring that back, especially the song So Long Farewell. It was sort of so long, adios. You know, it's just so much fun and beautiful, just as much to hear it being done in the Spanish language. They did a wonderful job. Nice. Do you remember any differences between the movie and the stage versions of The Sound of Music? They don't follow along the same plot and storyline exactly. Let me tell you one, then. I, the Baroness, sang 2 songs in the stage version that were cut from the movie. I can't imagine why they would do that. One was called No Way to Stop It, which I sang with Max, my wisecracking sidekick, and the captain. Another beautiful song was How Can Love Survive? Though that one is not sung in the movie, the orchestra performs it, if you listen carefully, as the beautifully dressed guests dance to it in the party scene in the captain's ballroom. Great. Another question, do you have a favorite scene or moment in the movie? Now think about it, and I will tell you mine. It's when I've just arrived at the captain's mansion, lakeside mansion, in Salzburg. The children are in their play clothes, which Maria sewed by hand from the old curtains in her bedroom. You remember that? Yes. The children are all in a canoe, and they're so excited to see their father arriving, they tip the canoe over, and all of them are soaked. Well, the captain's horrified because he wants a dignified introduction to me, and he sends them all inside. As the captain is reprimanding Maria for not controlling the children by his strict rules, the children go into the parlor and sing The Hills Are Alive to welcome me. When the captain comes upon this scene, he's so moved, he joins them in singing. You can tell by the wide-eyed faces of the children that most of them have never heard their father's beautiful singing voice. And in that moment, the sound of music has been brought back into the Von Trapp household. Thanks to Maria, of course. I'm tearing up just thinking about that moment. Now, is Roger here this morning? I will tell you Roger's favorite moment. He loves when Maria returns. She's run away, she's gone back to the abbess after the children have fallen in love with her. And a turn of events, and she decides to come back, and the children are so overjoyed, and Greta shows Maria her little finger, and Maria kisses her finger. Interesting how there weren't any glum little faces after I left the mansion. I vanished from their lives, never to be seen again in the movie, and no one seems to mind. What about you, Sharon? Is Sharon here?
My favorite moment
Please.
was when near the end, when they're at the convent, and one of the sisters goes to the Mother Abbess, and she says, "Mother, I've sinned," and then she holds up a piece of the engine from the Nazi car.
Thank you. Do you all remember that? Yeah. So she's committed a tiny sin, perhaps, by vandalizing the Nazi cars, but it is what allows the Von Trapp family to escape. Thank you. Anyone else have a favorite part of The Sound of Music? Yes, please.
When the captain dances with Maria.
Indeed. Why do you love that moment?
Why do I love it? They just absolutely, the chemistry, they sizzled, and yet nobody took any clothes off. I feel it's missing from movies today, that kind of romance where they don't even kiss, but it's so electric.
Yes.
Could you repeat that?
Did you all hear, yes, what she said, or would you like to stand?
Well, no, you can
Okay,
repeat.
okay.
You have the mic.
Yes. It's at the ballroom scene where Maria is dancing with one of the sons, and the captain says, here, let me show you how it's done. And in this impromptu moment, the captain and Maria do the dance, and you can see that, you know, she's obviously blushing, and they're looking into one another's eyes, as they should be, and they're finally sort of acknowledging and yet running away, standing back from the fact that they are in love. And I, the Baroness, saw me standing back there, snarky little face, seeing that indeed, for the first time, that there's something going on between them. Yes. And it's, yes, thank you. She's saying, I'm sorry. I'm over it. It was 60 years ago. But yes, that really is a turning point, and I thank you for pointing out that that chemistry is they have is something that's missing in a lot of movies today. There's no, kissing or messy stuff, but you can just feel the love that's being shared with them. Thank you. Yes.
Another interesting part is where they had those puppets singing.
Lonely Goat Head.
Yes.
I think that was done by a puppeteering troupe from Mason City, Iowa, called the Baird Puppets.
I did not know that. Yes, I remember. To me, it was always sort of a mystery of, within a day or two, how did they get the puppet stage and get all these children of all ages to bring the curtains down and the beer guys in and the goats and all that. Yeah, it's quite an intricate little puppet show for a nunnery reject to whip up in a few days. Yeah, that was a fun scene too. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. If there's one legacy that my character left behind, it's in the breakup scene between the captain and me. It's been called the classiest screen breakup of all time. How's that for a legacy? Do you remember it? On the terrace of the captain's villa? There was no blaming, no name-calling, no arguing, no dramatics. The captain and I were too respectful of one another for that. I simply, as soon as he begins to say, I've been unfair with you, and I've been unfair to both of us, I say, not another word, Georg. I simply explain that I'm going to take my little bags, go back to Vienna, where I belong, and with a kiss on the cheek, I say, Auf Wiedersehen, Georg. And like I said, I don't return in the movie. I don't come back to seek revenge. I realized it was for the best and said my goodbyes. But yes, I was devastated he broke off our engagement. From the outside, the captain and I were the most perfect couple, it seemed. Attractive, connected, cultured, rich. We commanded the attention of all of Austria and much of Europe. The wedding invitations had already gone out. The gossip columnists in the newspapers blew the story up. Baroness dumped for the nanny, they blared. I was hurt deep down, and yes, I felt publicly disgraced. But let's not dwell on that. That was 60 years ago, as we know. Why don't we take a little break and have a sing-along, may we? Yeah! Would you sing with me? I would be so thrilled. May we have the first song? Why don't we start at the beginning of the movie with The Hills Are Alive? Feel the music swell?
Sing for know I must hear what I've heard before. My heart will be with the sound of music, and I'll
How about one more?
Yeah.
At the very beginning, a very good place to start. Read, you begin with A, B, C. Sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi. The first three notes are happen to be Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Let's make it a little easier. Joe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself, all along the way to run. So, needle pulling thread, long and note to follow song, tea and drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself, bow, a long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow song, tea, I drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself, bow, a long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow song, tea, I drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to the rainy possum, la, ti, do, do, do. Thank you so much. Wasn't that fun? You've warmed my heart by raising your voices with me. Now, let me take a moment to share my historical accuracy disclaimer. Before you go and post on your friendly gringos page, excuse me, before you go and post on your friendly gringos page that my presentation was inaccurate. The Sound of Music, as we know it today, was based on the memoirs of Maria Von Trapp. She had never tried her hand at writing, and historians at the time questioned their historical accuracy. These unprofessional memoirs were adapted into a stage play, which was later altered further to become the famous movie. Cinema critics at the time called the movie a sugar-coated lie. No, I don't see any problem with that. I sugarcoat all my lies. Don't you, some of you, if you're honest? I think most of us do. You know, a spoonful of sugar and all that Julie Andrews sweetness that everyone loves. Nonetheless, we still love The Sound of Music for the story, its heart-stirring songs, its Cinderella story, its themes we still find delightful and relevant today, even though many parts are not true. Who remembers the final scene of the movie? Yes, please.
Oh, gosh, I have to tell you,
I'm sorry, darling.
Well, I remember them being in a cemetery, hiding behind the tombstones. And,
Yes, that was scary.
Yeah, and Rolf comes, and he has turned a bad corner. And now
Well said.
he blows the whistle on them, doesn't he?
Yes, right. That is a terrifying scene. Yes, I've got one after that.
I got trivia on that. I watched some YouTube about this locations, and that cemetery was built in a Hollywood studio because the actual cemetery that was copied from had no space behind the stones.
For them to be able to hide.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm thinking of a scene even after that. It's where the Von Trapps and their children are valiantly trudging through the Alps with only their knapsacks on their backs and the clothes that they're wearing. They're leaving behind their beautiful mansion and all their possessions and their lives in Austria, bound for a life of freedom in Switzerland. Do you remember them trudging through the Alps?
That's the last scene.
Well, did you know that is not the way it happened at all? The Von Trapps walked 2 blocks from their home to a train station and went to Italy. Now, don't you wish I didn't tell you that in a way? Even though it wasn't true, it's more dramatic. It makes the story better. Did you also know most of the major characters did not do their own singing in the movie? They were voiced over. Julie Andrews and the children did their own singing, but I don't want to lessen your enjoyment of the movie any further by telling you all the voices that were dubbed in. The Sound of Music cleaned up very well at the 38th Annual Academy Awards. The first time the Oscars were broadcast live and in color. Did you know that? No. Yes. Bob Hope was that year's MC. On August 18th, 1966, The Sound of Music got 10 nominations and 5 wins. Wow. Now, who do you think won for Best Actress that year?
Julie Andrews.
Julie
Do you
Andrews.
know? No, it was not Audrey Hepburn. We assume almost it was Julie Andrews, given how famous she was in that movie and made that movie. But no, she was nominated, but she did not win. It was another Julie, Julie Christie, for her role in the movie Darling. Most people don't even remember that film today. Interesting though, isn't it? The Sound of Music won for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, and Best Scoring of a Musical. The actress Peggy Wood was nominated for her role as the Mother Abbess in The Sound of Music, even though you could only see this much of her. But she did not win. Had it not been for the Mother Abbess, I might have been married to the captain after all. Right? Don't you remember, it was the Mother Abbess who sent Maria to be the governess in the Von Trapp home in the first place? Maria was too undisciplined, too unruly to follow the strict lifestyle requirements of the nunnery. So the Mother Abbess solved her problem. How do you solve a problem like Maria? By shipping Maria off to us. Thanks, Mother Abbess. The Sound of Music was nominated for Best Costume Design. The Academy must have been wowed by my ball gowns, my tiaras, and my immaculate day outfits. They certainly didn't nominate The Sound of Music for Best Costumes for the Mother Abbess's wardrobe. But let's not dwell on that. Do you all remember Christopher Plummer?
Yes.
Here he is, if you can see his picture on my dressing table. He is the handsome actor and singer, of course, who played Captain Von Trapp. Wasn't he dreamy? He didn't even appear in the lineup of Oscar nominees that year. Sorry, darling. And surprisingly, none of the beautiful songs from The Sound of Music appeared amongst the nominees for Best Song. Wouldn't you have thought they would? Now, here is the big trivia question of the day. Who can name the actress who played me, the Baroness Elsa Schraeder, in the movie?
Eleanor Parker.
Eleanor Parker is right here. Thank you, darling. Yes, yes. Do you remember Eleanor Parker, the Baroness? Yes, of course we do in the movie. Wasn't she lovely? Lots of versions of The Sound of Music followed the original movie, but no one captured the essence of me like Eleanor Parker. And do you know what else? June 26th was Eleanor Parker's birthday. That's this Thursday. Should we have a little party for her? Why not? What do you think? We can all wear our tiaras and celebrate the versatile and gorgeous Eleanor Parker, who starred in more than 50 Hollywood movies in her career. While Eleanor's portrayal of the Baroness was perhaps her best known, she wasn't even nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the 38th Annual Oscars. The Sound of Music has it all. An improbable Cinderella love story, a teenage romance of first love, adorable singing and dancing children, a goat puppet show, political intrigue, a glorious formal party scene, a dangerous car chase, and so much more. We love it for its themes of country and homeland. We love it because whether we are young or old, German, Austrian, Mexican, Canadian, American, or whatever, when we raise our voices together in song, we are one with the sound of music.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you everyone for coming today.